You would have to go fairly deep into the sports history books to come up with a more minuscule, earth-shaking controversy. A few pounds of compressed air, something players and equipment managers have been doing for decades, all winding up in federal court and making the most popular team sport in America look like a clown car with too many clowns and not enough makeup. Let's cut through the comical calliope, if you will, deal with this deflatable disaster. Welcome back to Sports Professor, the attorney who invented the concept of sports business, and thus the only man we trust, Rick Horrow. All right, Professor. I know we're not going to go ahead and agree all the time when it comes down to clown cars, but what's happening in federal court right now? Is this not just absolutely absurd, and this has pretty much damaged not just Tom Brady, but the NFL as well, because they can't prove there's a direct connection to Brady?
If the debate, Ed, were over how many pounds per square inch the football was blown up by two guys in the bathroom with a direct or indirect imprimatur of Tom Brady, then that would be the biggest issue and everybody looked dumb. If this were over the vitality and relevance of Article 46, which means when you bargain something, you best power in a commissioner, he does something, you don't like it, and then you can have it overturned, that's an entirely different issue. It is the latter. I will tell you, because I go the extra mile for you, because I love you as a talented, as a friend, I am down here on the floor of Soldier Field, and I have tested every football, and they feel good to me.
No, please, Rick, don't make us sit there and wait as you test. No, please, let's not do that. I get it, and you're right, and you and I have gone back and forth on this in our private conversations, but come on, Rick, this is the National Football League. This is, as I said, the most popular sport in America. The judge is asking the NFL lawyer flat out, what's the connection? The NFL says, there's connection. They can't prove this. The NFL looks flat out stupid in this.
Well, the standard is different because the standard is not really preponderance of evidence. The standard is effectively reasonableness, and does it look okay to do what you're doing with Roger Goodell's power? Ted Wells makes a report. Some people say the report doesn't prove anything. The judge is even saying at the beginning of the transcript that he's asking questions to be a devil's advocate. And if you're a judge and you want it settled, you ask extreme questions to make people feel like they better get it settled because they don't like the alternative. I believe next Wednesday is a big hearing date because that's the day that the judge talks about the evidence, and he gives them until probably September 4 to decide this. And I will tell you that I would predict, unless I'm really wrong about it, and I've been wrong before, that they're going to settle this issue somewhere south of the 4-game suspension to protect the integrity of Roger Goodell's ability to do what he needs to.
Does Brady have any sort of a legal case to go after the NFL and or Goodell if they cannot prove that direct connection in a federal court?
Yeah, I mean, the whole case is based on whether or not it's reasonable for Roger Goodell to do something under Article 46 and under the best interest clause, the power that's given to him by a negotiation with the union to do something like this based on some evidence, direct or indirect. And then the evidence will be going to a jury, and it'll take a long time, and people will hear about this, even though the NFL's doing very well. And notwithstanding that, Brady's in court, NFL's in court, and the jury might ultimately decide it years from now. It is possible that happens, but nobody wants that.
All right, 2 minutes left. Let's go ahead and turn to what's happened to the New York Jets here. Their quarterback gets sucker punched by another player in the locker room. Apparently, Geno Smith and IK Enemkpali were arguing over $600. But here's the thing, Rick. Punches the quarterback. The Jets release him. Bang, he's gone. He gets picked up by the Bills. I'll tell you what, social media is screaming right now. It took them 6 months to deal with Ray Rice. It took them 6 minutes to deal with a guy who breaks a quarterback's jaw. Again, this doesn't look good. It looks amateurish for the league.
Well, but let's remember, the league didn't even get in the middle of this yet. They might, but this was a coach saying, I don't want this guy around, let's cut him, which you have the ability to do for any reason. Then Rex Ryan, who used to coach the Jets, is saying, all right, let's add to the drama, I'm going to pick him up. Now, the NFL decides or not what the penalties are going to be, but there are two sides to this one, as far as I hear, and I've talked to people, where he's not entirely a sucker punch. It was a fight that was reaching the next level, and it should have been broken up. And there are two sides to it. So I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that we haven't heard the last of this one. And I know you like that because that's more viewers and it's more questions.
I like that. You're darn right that is. From the legal side of things, does Geno Smith have any sort of a case where he can sue the player, but then won't the franchise and the league have to get involved in that if he did?
Well, the player then becomes a big issue. Is it a normal thing to happen in a locker room where you assume the risk of getting punched? Probably not. But are there other people that bring something to bear on this that makes it not just a player sucker punching somebody else? Probably so. So then other parties are involved in it, and there is a lawsuit, and it does take time. And let's remember that Geno Smith wants to continue his career with the Jets, and the other guy wants to continue his career with the Bills. And lawsuits don't really help perpetuate careers.
Do you think, I got about 20 seconds left here, that IK Enemkpali, will he be busted by the league? Will they throw him out of the league for this? Can they?
Well, they can. I don't think they will. And the bottom line is I think there might be a suspension. But remember, he's a sixth-round draft pick, and there may be questions as to whether he makes the roster anyway. And then the other risk is once he does, then the league steps in. So let's ask that question in about 4 weeks.
All right, cannon fodder for the exhibition season. Rick Horrow, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game. Stay with us. The Hardline continues.